Here we're going to talk about fractions. A fraction is part of a whole. And we write it as, for example, if I want to write 5, 6, I write it as 5 over 6. 5 is called the numerator and 6 is called the denominator. So a fraction can be written as a whole number divided by a whole number. The important thing to remember is it is okay for the numerator to be a whole number 0. So suppose we have 0 over 3, obviously 0 divided into 3 equal parts, each part is a 0. So that makes sense. But if I go 3 is divided into 0 parts, this doesn't make sense. So this is undefined, which means you cannot have a 0 in the denominator. So what is the important thing to remember? A fraction is a numerator over a denominator. That's how it's written. The numerator can be any number 0 onwards, any whole number 0 onwards, 0, 1, 2, 3, ... The denominator cannot be a 0, so we start at 1. The denominator can be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Now let's look at the first problem. Suppose a pizza is sliced into 8 equal pieces. Sam eats 3 slices and Vera eats 2 slices. What fraction of the pizza did Sam eat? Now we take a pizza and divide it into 8 equal parts. That's 4. Each part is halved, then that becomes 8 equal parts. So what fraction of the pizza did Sam eat? Out of the 8 equal, important word is equal, it has to be divided into equal pieces for us to talk in terms of fractions. What fraction of the pizza did Sam eat? Sam ate 3. Let's shade it. 1, 2, 3. 3 out of the 8 equal slices. So he ate what fraction? 3/8 of the pizza. 3 out of 8 equal pieces. What fraction of the pizza did both of them eat together? So Sam ate 3 and Vera ate 2 more. So let's shade 2 more. 1, 2. So that's Vera. Now what is the total number of slices that were eaten? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the total of 8 equal slices. Now what's left over is the unshaded part. So that's 1, 2, 3. But 3 what? 3 out of the 8 equal slices. So the fraction of the pizza that was left over was 3/8 of the pizza. The fraction of the pizza that was eaten was 5/8 of the pizza. Now, if we had to shade 3/4 in the following figure, so we have a whole. Let's say that the bar, the long bar in this question is a whole. Now, if we have to shade 3/4, we have to first divide the bar into quarters. We divide it into 4 equal parts. So each is a quarter. So each is called a quarter because we divided it into 4 equal parts. Now, what is 3/4? We take 1, 2, 3. 3 out of the 4 equal parts is 3/4. Now we can shade 3/4 in different ways. So this is our first example and this is our second example. So in the first example, the entire bar, which is a whole, is divided into 8 equal parts. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 3 out of 4 equal parts. The fourth one is a blank. Next I have 1, 2, 3 out of the 4 equal parts, and I leave the fourth one a blank. What I have is 6 out of 8 equal parts, which is the same as 3 out of 4 equal parts. Now in the next example, let me just erase this. We can do it again. What we'll do is shade 3/4 by first dividing the bar into 4 equal parts. Each cell is an eighth, but 2 cells together make a quarter. So that's a quarter, that's a quarter, that's a quarter, and that's a quarter. 4 quarters make a whole. So now we can shade each quarter. So 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. 3/4 is the same as shading 6 out of the 8 equal parts. So that's just another way of looking at the exact same fraction. So next, it says show a diagram that represents the improper fraction, let's say 6/4. So 6/4 is an improper fraction because the numerator is greater than the denominator. So let's look at these examples. 5/6, 3/4, 1/3, 7/8. In each of these fractions, the numerator is less than the denominator. In the next set of fractions, notice that 6/5, the numerator is greater than the denominator. 4/3, the numerator is greater than the denominator. 9/5, the numerator is greater than the denominator. 5/4, the numerator is greater than the denominator. That's what makes it an improper fraction. These are all improper fractions. These are examples of proper fractions. The numerator is less than the denominator. So let's see how we can represent 6/4. So we have 4, 6, the way we read 6/4 is 6/4. So we have a whole circle and a second one. We divide the circle into 4 equal parts or quarters, fourths. And now we're going to shade 6/4. So that's 1, 2. Let me complete this shading. 2. So that's 2/4. I'm shading the third quarter, so that's 3/4. I'm shading the fourth quarter, which is 4/4. 4/4 is equal to a whole. But I have to continue because I want to shade 6/4. So I continue. That is 5/4. And then, of course, the last one, which is 6/4. So 6/4 is 4/4 plus 2/4. That is 6/4. 6/4 is an improper fraction, so it contains a whole. It's the same as 1 whole, so 1 entire full, plus more, plus a fraction, which is 2 out of 4 equal parts. So 1 plus 2/4 is the same as 4/4 plus 2/4, which is 6 fourths. Fourths is a quarter. There are 6 quarters. Now the next question, question 5. Write an improper fraction that the following diagram represents. So look at the shaded areas. I'm going to rethink this problem. We have 2 full bars. Each bar is a whole. So we have 2 full bars shaded and a little more of another bar. So we have 1 whole, we have another whole, and then we have a fraction. So this bar is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts, out of which 5 parts are shaded. So we have 1 whole plus 1 whole plus 5 out of the 6th of the third whole. So that is 2 and 5, 6. If we want to think of it as an improper as a mixed number, then we think of it as 2 and 5, 6. This is called a mixed number. 2 is a whole number, 5, 6 is a fraction. So this is called a mixed number. Now let's see how we can think of this as an improper fraction. Since the third bar is divided into sixths, which means 6 equal parts, I'm going to take the first 2 bars and divide it into sixths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many sixths do we have? We have 6 sixths. In the second bar, we have another 6 sixths. In the third bar that is shaded, we have 5 sixths. So 6 sixths plus 6 sixths plus 5 sixths. We are just counting the sixths. If we count the total, it is 6 plus 6 plus 5 over 6, which is 17 sixths. So 2 and 5 sixths is the same as 17 sixths. So 17 sixths. Each is a sixth when you divide a whole into 6 equal parts. And the way you read this is 17 sixths, which is an improper fraction, is the same as 2 and 5 sixths, which is a mixed number.